Once again, we welcome you to the legendary circuit that is Imola for race 2 of Euroformula 2021 here this weekend. It is a slightly overcast, muggy morning as the cars make their way out of pit lane. These beautiful Dallara EF320 F3 spec cars. We had a fantastic race as the sun set last night on race 1. Jack Crawford with a dominant victory, a safety car interrupted race. And he had a 9-second lead, which was eroded instantly, but no problem for the American. He pulled away and did it again to win comfortably. And he is, even though starting a little bit further back on the grid, courtesy of the inverse grid, is probably still the favourite here this morning. Rafa Villagomez, as you look at Achembolok Basi, who was on the podium yesterday. Rafa from Mexico will start from pole position for race 2. We invert the finishing order from the top 6 yesterday as Enzo Trulli, the Italian for the Carlin Racing Team, exits pit lane. You can see in the background, the chance of rain is minimal, but the humidity is really increasing. It is a warm morning as you ride on board with Enzo. It is 32 degrees Celsius. In fact, by 7 a.m. this morning, it was already past the 30-degree mark. Enzo accelerates down into Tamburello as he exits pit lane. Had a competitive run yesterday. In fact, Enzo was the fastest driver in practice, but no one had an answer for Jack Crawford, who dominated race 1 to put himself into contention for the 2021 championship, which is still being led just by Cameron Das. The American, finishing at P5, will start on the outside of the front row of the grid as he did yesterday. He told us that he was expecting this to be probably his worst round of the series. He's never raced here at the Imola circuit before. As you look at Rafa going through in car 8, he is the pole sitter. Here is Jack Crawford, car 52 for Team Motorpark. Pole position in qualifying. A red flag, shortened session. He broke into the 134s, which is spectacularly quick here around Imola. He will start on the third row of the grid alongside Louis Foster. As we say, we invert the top 6 yesterday, so a half reverse grid as Rafa Villagomez for Van Amersfoort Racing comes up to the line, and Cameron Das, the American, alongside him. Started grid 2 yesterday, fell back to finish in P5. Louis Foster finished in 2nd. And the gap between these two drivers in the championship is just a handful of points. We are coming up to the halfway point of the championship. In fact, we have passed it. Of course, starting in Portimao in Portugal, going to Paul Ricard for round 2. Spa-Francorchamps 2 weeks ago in Hungary. From here, the summer break before we go to the fabulous Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 6 of the championship, Monza, and then concluding at the home of the Catalan F1 Grand Prix, which is Barcelona in October. Here is Enzo, car 15, a professional kart racer not more than 6 months ago for the Kart Republic team. Took out the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship in January, February over in the Middle East. Was planning to race F4 in 2021, but effectively following in his father's footsteps, going from karting to F3. And next, well, who knows? Enzo to start on the 4th row of the grid alongside Zdenek Chovanec. This is the pole sitter. This is Rafa Villagomez for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team. A good competitive run from him yesterday. Just couldn't catch the front 3 or 4 drivers, but certainly held his own in position 6. We invert the top 6, and the Mexican finds himself on pole position on an overcast morning here at Imola. There are wet tyres. You can see the tyre trolleys the teams have brought out onto the circuit. No one is putting them on at the moment. We did have a few drops of rain as you look at Cameron Das, the American, the championship leader, out of grid 2. Of course, for Team Motorpark. Motorpark, of course, using the Space engine and the HWR Mercedes-based engine for half of the field as well. In the past, we've also used the Toyota engine. This is an open formula category, which along with, well, obviously Formula 1 aside, IndyCar in America, Super Formula Lights using these identical cars It is an open category. As you look at Roman Stanek, who joins us from the FIA Formula 3 Championship. The Czech, who did not take part in practice one, only did a handful of laps in qualifying. Takes over from Vivian in Team Motor Park. Car 7. And this is Chambolic Basi, undoubtedly the most popular driver on the grid. Fritz van Amersfoort, the legendary team owner in the background, who's had so many great drivers pass through his hands over the years, the likes of Max and his father Jos, Charles Leclerc also, to name just 3. And Chambolic Basi, a race winner in Hungary. He will start on the second row of the grid. This is Louis Foster. Took valuable points out of Cameron Das yesterday with a second place finish. Did this second generation racer. Starts on the third row of the grid alongside Jack. We'll try and get a look at the American, the Red Bull Junior. There is Timo Rumpkale. 6 cars to manage, 3 for Team Motor Park and team for Crypto Tower Racing. This is Jack Crawford, the Red Bull Junior. Is he the next American to race in Formula 1? Well, he's certainly the best prospect, you would think, or one of a few at the moment. Crawford with a sensational victory yesterday. As we take a look at the highlights, Crawford started from pole position, disappeared into the lead. Louis Foster was position 4, trying to go by and make his way. And so truly avoided the contact between Stevenson and Nazim Atzman. Philip Caminias with a mechanical failure was launched off into the gravel. That brought out the safety car. It eroded the lead of 9 seconds from Crawford. No problem as he pulled away. This was spectacular car control from Chambolic Basi. Was in position 2. Foster went by to finish in second. Incredibly, Cham held on to take the final step of the podium yesterday afternoon. Roman Stanek on debut in Euroformula, going by the championship leader to finish in P4. Nazim Atzman, after making contact with Enzo Trulli in the dying stages of the race, off into the gravel. But Crawford with another fantastic victory in race 1 here at Imola yesterday afternoon. Race 2, round 5, the 2021, I should say, Euroformula Open Championship. Good morning and welcome to Imola. As we take a look at the grid for you, it is a reverse inverted top 6. Rafa Villagomez starts on pole alongside the championship leader Cameron Das, Roman Stanek, Chambolic Basi, Louis Foster and Jack Crawford. Then we go to Zdenek Jovanak, Enzo Trulli, Enzo Shanti, Brandon Lee Oxley. The debutant in the series, Nazim Atzman, Casper Stevenson, Philippe Caminias, and Josh Mason, who was out after coming together with his countryman, Casper Stevenson, yesterday on the opening lap of the race. Car 21, Josh starts out of grid 14. Ian Silvestrin with you in commentary. Delighted to be joined by Elliot Wood. Elliot, once again, slightly overcast skies here this morning. And with the top 6 on the grid inverted, well, this should be a sensational race. Rafa Villagomez must be feeling a little bit nervous. He held his own yesterday, was in the top 5, top 6, but now finds himself on pole position here this morning. So the formation lap, Rafa Villagomez to start on pole position. Must be feeling the nerves as the field make their way out of Aqua Minerale. And Cameron Das, he told us yesterday that this was to be his worst round of the championship. That's what he was expecting. Has never driven this daunting Imola circuit before, which is deceptively quick. So Cameron Das, with one eye on the championship, wants to just get through this with the maximum points. Jack Crawford, of course, he is missing a couple of rounds. He famously missed the first 2 races off the series at Portimao, had his 16th birthday on Sunday. So started from the back of the grid and came storming through to finish in P6. He's been the class of the field, starts out of grid 6. So we get ready for the start. Elliot Wood now joins me. Hopefully the microphone is fixed.
It should be
live.
Yep,
there we go.
Sound like it.
Great to have you back, Elliot. Ready for the start. Rafa Villagomez will be nervous on pole position.
Yeah, it'll be quite a challenge starting from the front here because there's such a long run down to the first proper corner of the circuit that the slipstream effect is going to be really strong, even from a standing start here, as we have seen in some of the other races this weekend.
Villagomez and Cameron Das, the 2 Americans on the front row of the grid, the Mexican and the driver from the USA. Brendan Lee Oxley, a good run from him yesterday on debut. There's Nadia Martzman. Unfortunately, he ended in the gravel, as did Philippe Caminiaz in car 88. So we reset here this morning. This is the second of 3 races. Round 5, the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship. This is the view from Enzo on the 4th row of the grid. The green flag at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights here at the home of the Emilia-Romagna F1 Grand Prix. Here this morning, we race. Super start from Villagomez. It looks as though we've lost one car at the back. Does restart. Rafa will lead the field down into turn 1 as the field swarm all over the back of the Mexican. Clean start into Tamborello. We're keeping one eye on Jack Crawford. Started P6, and that's exactly where the Texan runs in the early stages of lap 1. Enzo Trulli on board with the Italian. Right behind yesterday's race winner. Rafa Villagomez in the lead. Roman Stanek, the Czech, launches off the line. Roman is in 2nd place. Crawford right behind Foster and Cameron Das, as we've got one car running off the road for the back in the pack. It looked to be Philippe Caminiaz does rejoin. And Enzo Shanti has made up the place. In fact, it was his teammate Brandon Lee Oxley, straight out of the Spanish F4 series, up into position 8. So Villagomez, a great start from the Mexican.
Yeah, and it was a poor start for Cameron Das, very slow off the line, had 2 drivers coming either side of him on the run to Tamborello. He's now down to 5th because Louis Foster also got past him at Villeneuve, and we see Jack Crawford applying pressure on his title rival and fellow American as they come to the top of the circuit. They're now going to head back downhill on this first lap of the race. Chovanec, who did stall at the start, has actually made up a lot of ground on the cars ahead, so that's a very good job for him there to recover.
He was very quick to get it going, although unlucky to stall. He's in position 14 for RR Racing, and he's already on the back of Philippe Caminiaz, Enzo Shanti, Josh Mason. The British driver who went off at that very corner on lap 1 yesterday will be relieved to still be in the race as Rafa Villagomez leads the field across the line. Roman Stanek position 2. Van Amersfoort Racing in 1st and 3rd. We look back in the pack to Jack Crawford all over the back of his countrymen. The 2 drivers from the other side of the Atlantic, side by side down into Tamborello. Das is forced offline by Crawford. What a move by Jack. Yesterday's race winner means business here this morning, and Enzo Trulli dives down the inside to try and take the championship leader as well. Das says no, closes the door on Trulli. The Carlin Racing car will live to fight another day. Right behind him is the Brit, Casper Stevenson. Fantastic start to race 2 here at Imola this morning.
Yeah, and at the back of the pack, we've got Josh Mason in one of the RR cars holding off both drive-at school drivers. They were swamping him all the way through the first exit, got very close to Villeneuve. Now Trulli is under pressure from Stevenson. He did try to get alongside Cameron Das there, who has looked a little slower since almost got swamped aside by Jack Crawford there. with the overtake. So he is currently in 6th. There's a little lock up there going up the hill for Casper Stevenson. Enzo Trulli is going to try to draw alongside Cameron Dass again coming up the hill. They're going to see him coming over, and Trulli has made the move. I think there might be an issue with Dass's car. Front right lockup. He's now behind Casper Stevenson as well. Nazim Asman's next up. Better drive out the corner. He also is drawing alongside Cameron Dass. He's pretty much ahead now. Josh Mason will be the next one along. Now, this is not good news for our championship leader.
He's got a puncher. Almost certainly he has got a puncher. Has the championship leader. Cameron Dass locks up. Look at the left rear Michelin tyre. The American will dive down into pit lane. He's falling back through the pack. He's still trying to go as quickly as possible. We'll keep one eye on Cameron Dass. He's down to 10th to 11th. He's dropping right down the order as his countryman. There's Jack Crawford on the back of Louis Foster, who goes side by side with Cembolik Basi. The driver from Istanbul in Turkey closes the door. It's Foster right behind, who has to deal with Crawford coming for him as well. Dass down in the pits. He's got a puncher. The team go to work immediately. Bolek Basi defends from Foster. Crawford watches this battle. He's on the inside. It becomes the outside, down into the Tosa curve. Fantastic racing in Euroformula, and Crawford takes him. What a move by yesterday's race winner.
Yeah, superior traction there. We saw it yesterday that every time they did go around the inside, then compromise them on the outside. But Bolek Basi is the next target for Jack Crawford, who did dominate yesterday's race. He pulled up a gap of, I think, 10 seconds. There's a safety car, then he got 9 seconds ahead again. So we know he is very fast around the circuit. Cameron Dass, it appears, is still in the pits. The team is still working on that car, so he is pretty much out of the race of points at the moment. Bolek Basi, Villa Gomez, Roman Stanek's actually closed up on Villa Gomez. Only 2 attempts between those two. It was 4 attempts at the start of this lap. Jack Crawford having set the fastest lap. He's only 1.8 seconds behind in 4th place, and it looks like he is lining up a move on Cembolik Basi as they come over the hill. He's drawn side by side. We're following the lead battle as Villa Gomez is still under pressure from Stanek. Crawford tries the outside of Bolek Basi, can't do it. Round Ravazza 1, they're going to come round 2, the final few corners now. It's battles for all of the positions at the moment.
So Villa Gomez from Stanek just, and we go back to this battle for 3, 4 and 5. It is Cembolik Basi, Jack Crawford, who dives down the inside. They go side by side at 260 k's an hour. Jack's in the grass. What a move by the Red Bull Junior as Stanek and Villa Gomez try and trade positions as well. Crawford has gone through. The Texan up into position 3, goes by Cembolik Basi, who's now off the podium. Foster behind in P5, and Cameron Dass, we can tell you, is still down in pit lane.
Yeah, so what he'll want to be doing
Actually,
is...
he's just rejoined. Sorry, Elliot.
Yeah, so he's left the pit, so he's going to be going for fastest lap now, because fastest lap does set the grid for race 3, so he hasn't lost everything in this race. He can put himself at the front. We're going back to the lead battle. Villa Gomez only less than a tenth of a second ahead of Roman Stanning now, so it's really close. Crawford leading Bolek Basi and Foster now. Cembolik Basi said yesterday with the setup VAR had, as soon as they lost the slipstream to Crawford, he could escape, and we can just see it here. Crawford has just gapped him straight away there with the slightly different setup options those two cars have. So Bolek Basi is now all about defending his position from Foster. Here's a replay of the start.
Villa Gomez, a superstar from the Mexican, who does still just lead the race. On board with Enzo Trulli. Zdenek Jovanek did stall, but was quick to restart. Only lost about 100 metres, and he's still circulating in position 13. So Villa Gomez, a super start in P1. You ride on board with Enzo Trulli in the opening stages of the race. Enzo now up into position 6, going by Casper Stevenson. A moment for Cembolik Basi, who loses a ton of time coming out of the high chicane. Back to the lead. Rafa Villa Gomez, Roman Stanek on debut in Euroformula, gets the toe from the Mexican. Jack is catching the both of them. A 1:36.384 as Roman tries around the outside. What a move by Roman Stanek. Goes through to take the lead in Euroformula race 2 here at Imola. On debut in the series, Roman Stanek now up into the top spot. Fabulous pass by Roman Stanek.
Yeah, and Jack Crawford behind and just set the fastest lap, over 1.4 seconds faster than the two cars ahead of him. He is already on the tail of this lead battle, so he's going for his second win in a row. Cameron Dass goes past the commentary box. He is still running on track, hasn't got to the pace of the cars ahead though, so he does need to get those tyres up to temperature so he can fight for that point for fastest lap. Crawford getting ever closer to Villa Gomez now. It's now 0.4 tenths between these two, so 0.4 seconds even. So they're getting close. Here's a replay of the move.
Around side, Villagomez tried to defend right in the middle of the circuit. Roman says, no problem, I'll take you on your right. And Roman Stanek, car 7, moves into the lead for Team Motor Park. Launches over the chicane. And Jack Crawford, like a rocket, is the driver from Houston. A 136.384, he's close enough to get the tow. We watch them down into Ravazza 1. Rafa closes the door. Jack says, no problem, I'll try the outside. Into Ravazza 1, they accelerate briefly to Ravazza 2. He'll get the tow. Rafa Villagomez almost certainly will be a sitting duck. 260 plus k's an hour down the straight, which kinks slightly to the right, then to the left into Tamborello. Villagomez, and he forces Jack around the outside. Super stuff, the Mexican and the American. Down into Tamborello, Jack's taken him up into P2 from grid 6. Now the question is, as we pass 1/3 race distance, can he catch Roman Stanek, who just throws down a 135.804? It won't be so easy for Crawford here this morning. Roman Stanek hooked up after missing much of practice.
Yep, and further back, looks like Enzo Trulli has just taken 5th place from Louis Foster. The gap on our timing screens is 0.0 seconds, so that is a very close battle for 5th place. They were only just behind Crawford a few laps ago. Now, see the tail of the picture, there's actually a Cura car's Casper Stevenson and Nazem Asman in that battle as well. So a 4-car battle for 4th place at the moment, it looks like. We're going to follow them now. Enzo Trulli coming down the hill and around into the 2nd sector of this lap. I think this would be one of Trulli's best results so far, and obviously this is his first weekend with Carlin, so new team, new ways of doing things, a lot to learn at Imola this weekend.
Super performance from young Enzo, who we just mentioned 6 months ago was a professional kart racer, now racing in this spectacular Euroformula category. There's Nazim Atzman, the Malaysian driver, into P8, just ahead of Josh Mason. Stevenson just ahead, so the Malaysian with English drivers ahead and behind. As Enzo Trulli goes through, he's up into 5th place. Super drive from Enzo. P5, car 15, yes, first time out in Euroformula. We watch this, Jack Crawford around the outside. Rafa Villagomez, who's did start from pole position. Nothing he could do, gives the tow. And Jack takes the Van Amersfoort Racing Team driver, Team Motor Park, celebrate down in the garage. They now run 1-2. Enzo Trulli, this was the move a few moments ago to take Foster. Fabulous pass from Enzo Trulli. Looks good here this morning. Crawford, the gap is 1.3 seconds and a 135.322. Although Stanek is virtually matching him, did not have a good lap last time around. We're already almost approaching half race distance. Race 2, round 5, the 2021 Euroformula Open Championship. Crawford with another fastest lap, 135.322. Cameron Dass looking to go for the fastest lap of the race. If you're new to Euroformula, the lap times dictate the grid for race 3. But Cameron, he's some 4 seconds off the pace. There must have been more than a problem than just a flat Michelin tyre.
I suspect, I did see him do 1 minute 36, he's now on the 1 minute 39s, but the gap he has to the chasing pack that would put him a 2nd lap down, I think has got closer. So there might be some more tactics in this than just the fastest lap point. But going further down the order, we have got another 4-car battle. So Casper Stevenson's now in 7th with Nazem Asman behind, Josh Mason just behind him, and then Philip Kemeniars in 10th place, holding off the 2 DriveX drivers as well. Here we're following Nazem Asman, so he is in 8th, 8 tenths behind Louis Foster. Foster was pretty much in the lead group in these opening laps, but he's lost the pace, and obviously Cameron Dass had a puncture, but we haven't really seen what may have caused Foster to drop back slightly. Hopefully he can come back and join the battle ahead, because Bollock Bassi as well has dropped several seconds to his teammate Rafael Villagomez in 3rd place.
This is a good battle between Nazim Atzman and Josh Mason behind, who only did about 3 kilometres of race 1 yesterday, the Malaysian from the English driver. Both coming over from the British F3 series and finding their feet in the Euroformula series. These are beautiful cars to watch. The EF 320 Dallara open engine chassis as Josh Mason goes through. In car 21 for Double R Racing, his teammate Zdenek Chovanec. In car 66, still circulating. And Cameron Dass still out on track, but not going so quickly. Here's the championship leader. He's down in 14th place, a lap behind. So Roman Stanek maintains his lead, 1.3 seconds from Jack Crawford. who will only do 5 of the 7 rounds due to, unfortunately, well, at the moment, it's a conflicting clash with the FIA F3 Series as we look at Enzo Trulli fighting with Foster. So Foster's got back by Enzo. There's Nazim Atzman in the background. In fact, Trulli, does he have a problem? He's going slowly. He's just been passed. So Casper ghosts by the Italian driver, Nazim Atzman, right behind. Trulli, who was into position 5, he's going to come across the line under attack. He pulls into pit lane. A problem for the Italian, for Carlin Racing. We go back to the battle for the lead. Jack Crawford has cut 1.3 seconds. Well, he's made that gap down to 0.3. 1 second he's cut out of the Czech Roman Stanek. Half race distance, race 2, round 5, the Euroformula Open Championship. Trulli is down in pit lane. We'll keep one eye on the Italian as Jack on the back of Roman.
Yeah, it's a brilliant, brilliant drive by Jack Crawford here. He started down in 6th place. Now, we saw him yesterday doing an average speed of his lap of 189 kilometers per hour, I believe. He's now on a 185.4. Last time by was his fastest lap, 35.3. But with the slightly lower temperatures right now, the engines are going to have a little more power. The air's going to be a bit more dense. More oxygen goes into the engine. Therefore, we know he can go faster than this. With the slipstream effect as well, Roman Stanek, he's very likely to not only take the win here, if he can get past Roman, but also take the point for fastest lap, and therefore the pole for race 3. He could do the triple this weekend.
Let's hope for our sake that he doesn't, because it's been fabulous to watch him come from the 3rd row of the grid. Although I suspect he will take Roman imminently. Stanek already starting to defend down into Rivata 1. Crawford going very deep under brakes, just clips the ripple strip. Look at him work the steering wheel. Coming on to the straight, they accelerate hard now. Roman Stanek will check the mirrors. He looks to his right. Jackie is right there. Here comes the Red Bull Junior in car 52. Motorpark going 1-2. Down into Tamburello. Is he close enough? The track kinks ever so slightly to the left. Jack has got time. Roman covers the line. And the Czech, Roman Stanek, holds off Crawford for the moment. Yes. Villa Gomez doing a good job, still in position 3, further back from this battle. This is the fight for the lead. Yeah,
it's just a case of exiting the slipstream. These Motorpark and Crypto Tower cars seem to have a bit more ability in staying within that slipstream. Drops a wheel on the dust, and actually even more dust was chucked up by Stanek's front left wheel there. So I think both of them ran a little wide. The track's getting a little less grippy. Very cloudy as well outside, so potentially the weather is changing right now. We can see Villa Gomez way at the back of the picture, 6 seconds back. He's got a 1.6 second advantage to Pollock Bassi. Trulli now out of the pits. Now I think he's actually just come out right behind Cameron Dass, so he is going to get a slipstream effect there if he's going to go for fastest lap points as well. Dass had improved his pace back into the 1:35s, 1:36s even. So it is quite a close battle between Crawford, Dass, and potentially Trulli joining now in the point for fastest lap. Disappointing for Enzo because he was running in the top 5. He rejoins. You just saw the graphic to the left of your screen as we pass half race distance. So Cameron Dass into 13th place. We're looking at Foster because he is second in the championship, quickly doing some mathematics, which you know, Elliot, I'm less than poor at. But I suspect if the positions stay roughly where they are, Louis Foster will take the lead into race 3, the championship lead this afternoon. I think Cameron Dass would be 1 or 2 points ahead still. Nothing in it. Depends what the fastest lap point comes into play. Going into the 11th lap of the race, Crawford's actually further back this time than he was previously. And we saw both of these drivers go a little bit wide further around the lap, picking up some dust. So, and the gap to Villa Gomez behind actually hasn't changed much either. So potentially they're controlling their pace, looking after the tyres. They should have fresh tyres for this race because quite a few of them used old tyres for last night's race. So knowing that the pace would be stronger this morning and there's more to fight for because of that fastest lap onus, they would have put fresh tyres on. However, these two look like they're calming down a little. It is getting a little bit overcast here and dark as we look outside our commentary box window, which is located right opposite the pit straight. We did have a few drops of rain, which basically evaporated as soon as it hit the ground
due to it being quite warm here this morning. Still 30 degrees. We're keeping an eye on the track temperature though. Just 36 degrees. Yesterday it was 53 degrees Celsius. So cooler conditions here this morning as Roman Stanek holds his own. The drivers from the FIA Formula 3 Championship, 14 Motor Park, run 1-2. Roman Stanek on debut in Euroformula. Jack Crawford closes up on the back of the Czech now. Villagomez doing a good job off screen, but the Mexican still in position 3 into Ravazza 1. Jack Crawford works the wheel again aggressively as they come onto the straight. Roman Stanek uses every piece of the racetrack. Checks the mirrors, gives the toe to Crawford behind. He tries to break the slipstream. Crawford stays with. The track kinks to the right, to your left. Crawford gets the toe. He'll be sucked in as they go down into Tamburello.
And they're getting very close again now, so I think potentially Crawford just let him ease away a little bit, and then he's brought that back down to less than a quarter of a second. It was up to 4 tenths earlier. He's actually got a very strong run now going through to the next chicane. He isn't going to be close enough to attempt to pass. We've now got 7 laps of this race to run, and these drivers are still running in the 1 minute 35s. Actually, Crawford
set his second best lap last time by Stanek, his personal best. So Stanek is provisionally second on the grid for tomorrow's race. Now, what he could do here is almost use not only the slipstream going back, but Crawford can push him through the air down the pit straight as well, and he can make advantage of that.
Stanek trying to keep the 7 Motor Park car as straight as possible as they go down into Aqua Minerale. Now they climb the hill to the high chicane, and you can see it is getting a little bit dark here this morning. Race 2, round 5 here at Imola. Uses the track on the exit.
Yeah, I was going to say Stanek's taking a little less risk here now. I think he's realised there's no point in fighting Crawford too hard, because if he does get past, he's still in second place. They've now got 7.9 seconds in hands to Rafael Villagomez in third place, who himself has 2 seconds back to Cembolic Bassi in fourth. So these two are guaranteed first and second place pretty much. They just need to decide which of those 2 positions they are going to be in. And looking at the asphalt, it does look a little, I would say, greasier almost. We can't see any rain, but it's definitely got far more cloudy. And actually the top of the media centre does look slightly damp as well.
Is it raining, Elliot? We're trying to sense if there is precipitation here at Imola. Very, very lightly. There may be the odd drop of rain. For the moment, we stay green, we stay dry. Roman Stanek in the lead. It is raining here at Imola. The rain is falling with 6 laps remaining.
Hopefully we can go back onto the onboard camera of Enzo Trulli, who is still lapping around. He's currently in 14th place, just behind Cameron Dass, and they're trading lap times at the moment, but it does certainly look like it's getting a little greasy out there. But Roman Stanek and Jack Crawford are still fighting. 4 tenths between those two. Cameron Dass goes past our commentary box window, followed swiftly by Enzo Trulli, and that's a personal best of Dass, 1 minute 36.2. So from my memory, that should put him third place on tomorrow's grid, potentially. Following Crawford now, still following Stanek. He looks a little closer this time by than he did the last lap, jumping over the curbs there from Stanek. He's realised the pressure really is on now. There's still 6 laps to go. You don't need to make a mistake now. You need to keep this battle going all the way to the end.
5 laps remaining at the end of this one. Roman Stanek, it is very lightly raining, although it has not affected the drivers' times. They're still lapping at the same speed as they were at the start of the race, as Roman Stanek goes very wide and Jack Crawford does likewise. Superb drive from Roman Stanek on debut in Euroformula.
And they come round to complete the 13th lap of the race, half a second between Stanek and Crawford. So it looks like Stanek is a little stronger through Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2, and he's opening that gap so Crawford can't quite get close enough at Tamburello. But then Crawford closes the gap back up by the time they get to the top of the hill in the middle section of the lap. Casper Stevenson now looks like he's under pressure from Nazem Asman for 6th place. 4 tenths between those two. Asman was tucked in the slipstream coming down to Tamburello as well. So that is a battle we should pick up on as well.
Look at the rubber being painted down on the circuit. Of course, the GT Open cars racing here with us this weekend. But Roman Stanek, can he hold on for a maiden victory in Euroformula? Excuse me. As Crawford sits there in 2nd place. Good drive from Roman Stanek. Kicks up the dust as they go down into Aqua Minerale. He's dropped off. The pace has Crawford ever so slightly. They climb the hill, Stanek, Crawford. We go back to Villagomez and Bologbashi in 3 and 4. Still the Van Amersfoort Racing Team's drivers. This is Asman. behind Casper Stevenson. Down through the gearbox into Aqua Minerale. It is getting overcast. A few drops of rain a few moments ago. That has eased in the dying stages down into Ravata 1. Now Jack closes up. Is he waiting for the final stages of race 2, round 5, the Euroformula Open Championship? Rides the ripple strip, Stanek almost off the circuit. Half that Michelin tyre was floating in the air over the top of the gravel trap. Gives the toe to Crawford as they race down into turn 1. Top speed over 260 k's an hour. Gives the toe. There is no DRS on these Euroformula cars. Into Tamburello, and Stanek still holds the place. 4 laps remaining. Crawford goes wide on the exit. Loses probably a tenth or two there. Gives Stanek just a little bit of breathing space. This is going to be a nail-biting finish. Stanek.
Yeah, and we got battles closing up as well. Louis Foster, Nazim Azman right on the rear of Casper Stevenson. They were getting very close on the run to Tamburello. Couldn't quite make the move, but up ahead of them, Foster is closing in on Cem Bolok-Bassi for 4th place now. I think I did say in the middle of the race, Foster had kind of dropped back, but I expected him to then draw back into the battle for the podium position and 4th place up ahead of him. We're going to follow this battle between Nazim Azman and Casper Stevenson for 6th place. Just a tenth of a second separates these two at the moment. You can see Louis Foster there, right on the rear of Bolok-Bassi, who's closed in on Villagomez as well. So potentially Villagomez has slowed down a little bit, and it's just brought the cars behind him into play. And that is a podium position that they are fighting for, those three.
Yes, indeed, as we watch these two drivers who race with us on the continent, coming over from the British F3 Series. Good performance from Nazim Azman. And Casper Stevenson just pulls out a bit of a gap as we look at the battle for the final step of the podium. Sideways on the exit goes the pole sitter, Rafa Villagomez. Bolok-Bassi right behind, and Louis Foster, if he can get by, we believe he may take the championship lead going into race 3 this afternoon. The dying stages as Bolok-Bassi locks up the brakes. The F1 Esports world champion from a couple of years ago. Knows every circuit in the world on the simulator. In real life, he's only raced here in a GT4 car. It's a whole different ball game in one of these Euroformula F3 spec cars as he gives the toe to Foster behind.
Yeah, it's going to get really close in Tamburello. Bolok-Bassi thinks about it, ducks back out. Louis Foster, we know, is very good traction. He actually goes loose into the first part of Tamburello, so he's dropped back from these two now.
That's cost him.
Yeah, and he's actually very slow on the exit as well. Bolok-Bassi right in the slipstream. They're going to head to Villeneuve now. He's going to be incredibly close. He clips the curb slightly. And Philippe Caminiars has just dropped down the order down to 12th place. So that's something we haven't seen on camera right now. Villagomez under all sorts of pressure. He's trying to defend his 3rd place at the moment. Bolok-Bassi wants a 2nd podium. Here's a replay of Philippe Caminiars going over the curbs at the chicane. And
oh, wow, right rear
wheel
suspension broken.
Yeah. Nice sparks though. And he's in the pits.
Into pit lane. That's the 2nd DNF in a row for the Polish driver. Really disappointing for Philippe. We'll see him back for race 3 this afternoon. Can he even make it back to the garage as we concentrate on this battle once again? The Van Amersfoort Racing teammates Rafa Villagomez from Guadalajara in Mexico, trying to take what would be a fantastic, well-deserved podium. Cem, his teammate, he wants another one. Race winner in Hungary 2 weeks out, or 2 weeks ago. Finished on the podium yesterday. He was in 2nd until he threw it off the road coming down the hill. Held on to finish in P3. He's 4th at the moment. Rafa Villagomez did lead the opening stages of the race. This is the dying stages of race 2 here this morning. Desperately wants the podium. There's Foster in the background. Stevenson back in 6th, still defending from Azman. A good drive from Josh Mason, P8. Oxley 9, and Enzo Shanti, the 3rd American, rounds out the 10. Yeah. Bolok-Bassi too far back to get the toe, down into Tamburello.
Yeah, I was going to say, Scionti is only a tenth of a second ahead of Zdeněk Chovanec in 10th place at the moment, so that battle is going on very closely. Stanek and Crawford, 4 attempts. We've gone back to follow this lead battle with only 2.5 laps to go. Scionti just goes past our commentary box. Chovanec still tucked in behind him. Stanek has maintained this gap for about 10 laps now. It's 0.4 seconds. They're both lapping in the 1:35. So that's approximately 2 seconds faster than most of the field here. So they're really working together to extend their advantages. And I would expect these two to be filling the front row of the grid for tonight's race. 1:35.303 is the current fastest lap set by Crawford, so he provisionally has pole position for the next race. Stanek, you can see looking in his right-hand mirrors, he knows Crawford is going to be looking for a move now as they come down the hill. The pressure is really ramping up.
So the dying stages of race 2, Roman Stanek started the season racing in the Asian Formula 3 Championship down in the Middle East at Dubai and the Abu Dhabi circuit. Had a good run there with Team High Tech, also racing in the FIA F3 Series, as is Jack. The dying stages of the race again checks the mirrors. So Jack saves his best to last. Started from grid 6, tries to break the toe, does Stanek as they race down the start-finish straight, which has got a kink in it. They do not lift. It goes right, it goes left, down into Tumbarello. Will Jack dive down the inside? Not this time, too far back on the penultimate lap of the race. Runs wide on the exit ever so slightly, but gets the toe as they race down into the Villeneuve chicane and then Curva Tosa. Stanek, late turn in, Team Motorbike still running 1-2. Fabulous to watch these F3 Spec Euroformula Dallara built cars. And now they climb the hill. Roman Stanek, can he take victory on debut in the series? Even climbing the hill tries to break the toe. Remember, their average speed is well over 180, even 190 k's an hour.
Yeah, and you can see going into almost every corner, Stanek is looking in his mirrors. He knows Crawford is going to try anywhere he can. Coming down the hill again, you know, it takes a lot to resist this kind of pressure for this long, and for only your second race in a car as well. Incredible job by Stanek, but with 1.5 laps to go, Crawford will try and make something happen if he can. Very, very close going chicane, jumping over the curbs now. He is as close as he has ever been. That's 0.2 seconds. That is the smallest this gap has been all race, and there's only 1 lap to go. Coming down the hill even further, there's going to be a pickup of speed, more slipstream coming down into Ravazza 1. Crawford slow again. Stanek is really strong through these final 2 corners. That's what keeping him in the lead all these laps.
Stanek turns in very late as they come across the line. The dying stages of race 2 this morning. Can the Czech take a famous victory here this morning? The final opportunity, the final lap coming up for Jetpack Jack. Gets the toe from his teammate, Motorpark, run 1-2. Stanek goes to the inside. Jack with one almighty send. Can't quite do it as Roman closes the door. Fabulous racing here in Euroformula, the championship here at Imola for 2021. Stanek checks the mirrors. Jack goes to the outside. How good is this here at Imola? Stanek on debut in the championship. Crawford, the inverted grid, he started from grid 6 after a dominant victory yesterday. Carved through the field, but Roman Stanek, for the moment, has said that's as far as you're going to go. Checks the mirrors. Into the left-hander, turns in very late. The car hooked up from Roman Stanek. Jack, the Red Bull Junior, looking for the runners. They go down into Aqua Minerale. A wide line from Roman Stanek. And Jack goes deep under brakes. Almost identical as they climb the hill to the high chicane for the final time. Just feints to the right, does Roman. Smashes the ripple strips at the top of the hill. Slight oversteer on the exit from Crawford. Surely Stanek has done enough as they race down the hill into Ravazza for the final time. He'll stay right to the middle of the circuit. Too far back is Crawford. A victory yesterday, but it's not enough here this morning. He accelerates out of Ravazza to the checkered flag on debut. Roman Stanek checks the mirrors. Crawford tries to get the slipstream. He's too far back. What a debut victory. R7. On live this morning, your boys done well with a victory here in race 2 at Imola. Quickly trying to do some mathematics, Louis Foster comes home in P5 and may have just taken the lead in the championship. 3rd place for the pole setter. Great to see Rafa Villagomez on the podium here this morning for Van Amersfoort Racing. Jack Crawford through absolutely everything.
I love Imola, so
and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
A very happy Roman here this morning as he takes victory in race 2. Let's take a look at the highlights from Imola from pole position. Rafa Villagomez, a perfect start from the Mexican as Stanek stalled further back in the pack. Did restart, only lost about 100 metres. And Roman Stanek from the 2nd row of the grid, launching up into 2nd place in the early stages of the race, going by Chembolik Basi. A disaster for the championship leader, Cameron Das, who simply went backwards. Enzo Trulli, he fought his way up into 5th place before he would pit, ultimately finishing down in 12th. Roman Stunning going around the outside to take the lead in the early stages. His fabulous pass to go by Rafa Villagomez. And Jack Crawford from grid 6 went to 5th, to 4th, to 3rd. Going by the Mexican as well. And then he caught up to the back of Roman Stunning, but just could not find a way past Roman, who drove brilliantly on debut in the Euroformula Open Championship. It was a nail-biting final lap. Jack was almost in the grass. Roman defended superbly. Team Motorpark would finish 1-2. Stunning takes the checkered flag. Crawford, after his victory yesterday, fastest lap of the race, will start on pole position. Race 3 this afternoon, but Stunning with the victory here this morning at Imola. Roman congratulated by Jack, and super to see Rafa Villagomez on the podium here in Euroformula Open at Imola.
Cominciamo con ordine, trofeo di bronzo, lo solleva con orgoglio dal Messico, Rafael Villagomez.
Great to see Rafa on the podium in P3. Jack gave absolutely everything. The Red Bull Junior finishes second, and a Roman wins here at Imola in Italy. Stunning from the Czech Republic on the top step, withstanding the pressure. A super drive. Motorpark finished 1-2. Thank you for joining us. We've got one more to race. That's at 6:15 this evening. Euroformula Open. We'll see you this evening live from Imola.
Looking down for the pictures, looking down, picking up the trophies, show with the trophies, please. Like this. Okay. And now, Champagne! Ecco, si stappano le bottiglie, perfetto, grande festa al podio. Salutiamo così i protagonisti di questa gara. Ci prepariamo ovviamente per...